Many years ago, in a land where magic danced in the air and whispers of ancient tales filled the nights, there was a small remote village called Edet Udo in Ibisikpo Asuten local government area, Nigeria. Villagers went about their daily activities, while they whispered stories to each other about an ancient prophecies that cast a shadow over the land. For generations, the villagers whispered of a woman destined to give birth to twins beneath the full moon. One would rise to greatness, while the other would succumb to darkness, foretelling the kingdom's doom. No one knew when or how such a prophecy might come to pass. As time passed, the prophecy loomed larger, shaping the villagers' lives. In the village named Edet Udo, there lived a queen named Glory. She possessed a beauty that rivaled the splendor of dawn's first light, and a spirit as wild and untamed as the winds that swept across the land. Queen Glory, a woman of grace and resilience, found her heart entwined with that of King Akpan, a ruler revered for his wisdom and kindness. Their love blossomed like the most exquisite flower, each petal a testament to their deep affection and mutual respect. Together, they embarked on a journey of partnership and devotion, their bond strengthening with each passing day. In the kingdom they ruled, their love shone as a beacon of hope and unity, inspiring all who beheld it. Queen Glory and King Akpan stood side by side, their love a testament to the power of unity and compassion in the face of adversity. One morning, Queen Glory woke to the gentle embrace of dawn. With a tender kiss, she bid her husband farewell and set out to tend to her duties, her heart brimming with love and purpose. As she moved gracefully through the village, her presence akin to a shimmering light in the early morning haze, she caught the eye of Okon, a dark sorcerer whose heart was shrouded in shadows. Enthralled by Glory's beauty, he resolved to make her his own. With a flick of his wrist and a whispered incantation, Okon cast a charm upon Queen Glory, ensnaring her in his dark web of desire. Under his spell, she found herself drawn to him with an inexplicable longing, her thoughts clouded by his sinister allure. In a secluded grove, far from the prying eyes of the village, Queen Glory succumbed to Okon's dark embrace. As the morning sun cast its golden rays upon their entwined forms, their union was a dance of shadows and light, passion and betrayal. But as the haze of desire lifted, Glory's senses returned, and she recoiled in horror at the realization of what had transpired. With a cry of anguish, she fled from Okon's grasp, her heart heavy with shame and regret. Returning to her husband, Queen Glory confessed her betrayal, her words heavy with remorse. With tears in his eyes, her husband forgave her, his love unwavering in the face of her mistake. Yet, the memory of Okon's dark enchantment lingered like a stain upon her soul, a reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. And as she vowed to atone for her transgression, Queen Glory resolved to guard her heart against the darkness that threatened to consume her. As the days turned to weeks and the weeks to months, Queen Glory, a woman of grace and wisdom, found herself blessed with the most precious gift of all, the promise of new life swelling within her belly. As the news of her pregnancy spread throughout the realm, joyous whispers echoed in every corner, heralding the arrival of an heir to the throne. King Akpan, her beloved husband and ruler of Edet Udo village, was overcome with happiness at the prospect of becoming a father. With jubilant laughter and tears of joy, he called for a grand celebration to honor the impending arrival of their child. The kingdom was adorned with banners and flowers, the air alive with music and laughter as the people gathered to rejoice in the queen's blessing. Feasts were prepared, and the finest wines flowed freely, as nobles and commoners alike joined in the festivities, their hearts alight with anticipation and hope for the future. Amidst the revelry, Queen Glory, radiant with the glow of impending motherhood, stood by her husband's side, her hand resting gently on her burgeoning belly. With a smile that lit up the room, she thanked her people for their love and support, promising to nurture and protect the precious life growing within her. As the celebration continued into the night, the kingdom resounded with the echoes of laughter and song, a testament to the love and unity that bound them together. And in that moment, Queen Glory and King Akpan knew that their child would be born into a world filled with hope, joy, and boundless love. Until one fateful night, under the radiant glow of the full moon, Queen Glory bore twins, her labor illuminated by the ethereal light cascading through the windows of the royal chamber. As the kingdom slumbered, unaware of the monumental moment unfolding within the palace walls, the air was charged with anticipation and magic. In the quiet stillness of the chamber, Queen Glory, her brow glistening with perspiration, cradled her newborn sons in her arms. The twins, their tiny forms bathed in the silvery moonlight, seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly glow as they took their first breaths in the world. As King Akpan gazed upon his sons with awe and wonder, his heart swelled with pride and joy at the sight of his heirs. The kingdom would soon be graced with not one, but two princes, destined to carry on the legacy of their noble lineage. Outside the palace walls, the full moon cast its luminous gaze upon the land, its gentle light whispering secrets of destiny and fate. For in the birth of these twins, a prophecy was fulfilled, a prophecy that foretold of greatness and darkness, of hope and despair. And as Queen Glory held her sons close, her heart filled with a mother's love and a sense of awe at the wondrous miracle of life. Little did she know, the journey that lay ahead would be fraught with challenges and trials, as the twins' destinies unfolded beneath the watchful eye of the moon. Victory, the firstborn, inherited his mother's gentle nature and the noble blood of his father, King Akpan, a wise and just ruler loved by his people. Victor, on the other hand, bore a striking resemblance to his mother but carried within him the darkness of his true father, a malevolent sorcerer named Okon, who dwelled in the shadowy depths of the kingdom, and his eyes smoldering with the embers of ancient magics. As the twins grew, so too did the shadows that lurked within their hearts. Victory, the elder of the two, was guided by the wisdom of his father, King Akpan. Under his father's tutelage, Victory blossomed into a beacon of hope for the kingdom, his light shining bright against the encroaching darkness that threatened to engulf the land. His every action was imbued with compassion and integrity, and in him the love and admiration of his people. Victor, however, found himself drawn to the whispered promises of power that echoed in his blood. Seduced by the allure of authority and control, he walked a perilous path, his heart a battleground between the forces of light and shadow. Despite his father's efforts to guide him towards the path of righteousness, Victor's ambition and desire for power clouded his judgment, leading him down a dangerous road fraught with temptation and deceit. As the twins grew older, their differences became more pronounced, their destinies intertwined yet divergent. While Victory stood steadfast in his commitment to uphold the values of justice and compassion, Victor's thirst for power threatened to consume him, casting a dark shadow over the kingdom and its future. And so, as the kingdom stood on the brink of uncertainty, the fate of Edet Udo village hung in the balance, its future uncertain in the hands of two brothers whose hearts beat to the rhythm of opposing forces. And so, as the twins stood on the threshold of their destinies, Queen Glory, their mother and queen, watched with a mother's heart torn between love and fear. From the moment they were born under the radiant glow of the full moon, she had sensed the weight of their intertwined fates, knowing that the choices they made would not only shape their own destinies but also determine the fate of the kingdom itself. As the moon waxed and waned in the sky above, casting its silvery light upon the land, the stage was set for a tale of love, betrayal, and the eternal struggle between light and darkness. Queen Glory prayed for her son's guidance, hoping that the lessons of compassion and integrity instilled in victory would prevail over the shadows that threatened to consume Victor. In the quiet depth of the night, as the kingdom slumbered beneath the watchful gaze of the stars, Queen Glory remained vigilant, her heart heavy with the burden of uncertainty. For she knew that the choices her sons made would shape the course of history, their destinies intertwined with the very fabric of the kingdom they were destined to rule. And as the dawn broke upon the horizon, heralding the beginning of a new day, Queen Glory resolved to stand by her son's side, offering them her unwavering love and support as they embarked on their respective journeys. One fateful night, Victor found himself ensnared in a chilling dream, his consciousness drawn into the dark recesses of his mind. There, amidst the shadows, stood his dark father, a figure cloaked in malevolence and sinister intent. With a voice like whispers in the night, Victor's dark father spoke, weaving a web of temptation and deceit. He offered Victor the forbidden fruit of his dark powers, promising him strength beyond measure in exchange for loyalty and obedience. As Victor succumbed to the allure of his father's whispered promises, he felt the tendrils of darkness coiling around his heart, infusing him with a power that both thrilled and terrified him. With each passing moment, he felt himself grow stronger, his resolve hardened by the dark magic coursing through his veins. In the depths of his dream, Victor's dark father laid out his sinister plan to seize control of the kingdom by any means necessary, even if it meant betraying his own flesh and blood. He urged Victor to embrace his newfound power, to rid himself of the shackles of morality and duty, and to claim the throne for himself. As Victor awoke from his dream, his mind clouded with visions of power and conquest, he knew that a fateful choice lay before him. The whispers of his dark father echoed in his ears, urging him to forsake the path of righteousness and embrace the darkness that beckoned to him. And as the moon hung low in the sky, casting its eerie glow upon the land, Victor's heart was consumed by the shadows that lurked within, his destiny veering dangerously close to the edge of oblivion. Consumed by the darkness that now gripped his soul, Victor plotted with a band of mercenaries, their hearts as black as the night itself, to carry out his nefarious scheme. With whispered promises of wealth and power, he tasked them with a heinous mission to kidnap his own brother, Victory, and bring him to the depths of the forest, where darkness reigned supreme. Under the cloak of night, the mercenaries slithered through the shadows like vipers, their eyes gleaming with malice as they descended upon Victory's chambers. With swift and silent precision, they seized him from his bed, his cries for help stifled by the darkness that enveloped him. Bound and gagged, Victory was dragged deep into the heart of the forest, where Victor awaited, his eyes burning with a twisted hunger for power. With a heart as cold as ice, he watched as his brother was brought before him, a helpless pawn in his sinister game. As Victory struggled against his bonds, his eyes filled with betrayal and confusion, Victor's heart hardened with resolve. With a voice as cold as steel, he ordered the mercenaries to silence his brother once and for all, to extinguish the light that threatened to expose his dark deeds. And as the echoes of his brother's cries faded into the night, Victor's soul was consumed by the darkness that now consumed him, his descent into tyranny and madness complete. In the shadows of the forest, a kingdom stood on the brink of destruction, its fate hanging in the balance as the forces of light and darkness clashed in a battle for supremacy. Consumed by the depths of his treachery, Victor's heart grew colder still as he issued a command that would seal his brother's fate. With a voice as venomous as the serpent's hiss, he ordered the mercenaries to bury Victor alive, condemning him to a fate worse than death itself. And Victor left the scenes. With grim determination, the mercenaries obeyed their master's bidding, their shovels cutting into the earth with ruthless efficiency. As the soil fell upon Victor's prone form, his muffled screams of terror pierced the night, a haunting lamentation for the brother who had betrayed him. As the mercenaries carried out Victor's sinister command, their shovels slicing through the earth with ruthless efficiency, a sudden bolt of lightning split the sky above. In an instant, the forest was bathed in a blinding light, illuminating the darkness that had taken root within Victor's soul. A voice, resonant and commanding, boomed through the clearing, cutting through the night like a clarion call. Stop. This treachery shall not stand.